Coaches, good evening. Thanks for tuning in tonight. My name is Chaz Henry, and I'm the CEO of PowerChalk. PowerChalk is a Disney spring training partner. We are also partners with a number of large sports organizations where we provide a video analysis website that lets coaches and players collaborate using slow motion video. PowerChalk, the service, is completely online and it's completely mobile. To use PowerChalk from a PC or Mac, there's no software to install. You simply establish your account at PowerChalk, you record your videos, you upload your videos to your locker, to your online PowerChalk locker, and then you use the ChalkTalk Telestrator to mark up, to analyze those videos, to go frame by frame, to make insights that you previously could not make. And lastly, you use our share features to share those out to your teammates, to your fellow coaches, and to distribute what you're finding in your analysis within your organization. You can download PowerChalk helper apps for your iPhone, your iPad, and your Android apps. But understand that you're working strictly within PowerChalk out of the PowerChalk cloud. So all of your files are stored on our server, and there's never any files to be lost. So again, whether you use a digital camera, whether you use an iPad, whether you're on a PC or Mac, or Android or iPhone, your files are always there, and you can continue to work off of the web. So PowerChalk, and one of the most important things I need to convey is that PowerChalk is a Disney spring training benefit. In their continuing effort to provide you the best facilities and tools, Disney has licensed PowerChalk accounts for each of the spring training teams. So specifically, what that means is that PowerChalk Pro is available for each head coach and assistant coach. So in your packets, in your spring training packets, whether you've been to Orlando yet or are still to go, what you're going to find is a couple cards that for the head coach and the assistant coach that activate your PowerChalk accounts. You also have free lockers for all the players. Now we'll get into the details about what constitutes the different account types, but I also want to make you available or make you aware that you can also get a discount on a single account, the same coaches' accounts that we're giving to the Disney spring training teams. So if your golf team, your volleyball team, or another school coach would benefit from the PowerChalk system, you can just email us with the contact information that I'll give you here at the end, and we can provide a promotional code that lets your fellow coaches get a 50% discount off of a PowerChalk account. So with that, let's talk about what you'll get in the spring training packet. So what you should find in the packet are two $100 cards. Now these cards on the back side have a URL, which is powerchalk.com/go. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to scratch off this code, and you'll need to enter that code into that URL. So you'll see a spot in there for promotional code, and when you enter that code, that's going to activate what we call a PowerChalk Gold account. Now a Gold account for the coach gives you access to the split screen telestrator. It gives you 500 video storage spaces in your locker. And again, this is ×2, so you've got 1,000 videos that you can upload and analyze, within your team. And it also gives you the ability to record your analysis onto an 8-minute tape, essentially a digital tape, and then to send that to your players and coaches. So, using PowerChalk. To use PowerChalk, what you need to do is have your coaches take their card with the promo code that's on the back and register at powerchalk.com/go. Now players, and again we encourage everyone to register their entire team. PowerChalk is not just about what insights the coaching staff can make, but how well you can communicate those insights. If I see something in my player and I can compare and contrast him to another player or to a pro player, and I can make a visual impact on the mechanics of that player, then I need that player to have a locker. So I need that player to be able to log in, and I need to be able to privately share that video out to that player. That's accomplished by having your players go to www.powerchalk.com/Disney Spring Training. So just follow the instructions there for the free sign-up. So they would take that link that you see there in the tan color, free sign-up from that URL, and they will be in the system just like the coach is, and we'll talk a little bit how you link your accounts together and how you can start to collaborate. So with that done, either coach or player registered, you just want to log in at PowerChalk, and then what you're going to ask your players to do is find you within the PowerChalk system and follow you. So we have a similar idea or similar concept to Twitter or Facebook, and you can follow another PowerChalk member. And by following them, you'll start to see their activity. So coaches, get all of your players to follow you on PowerChalk once you've established your account. And from there, you can start to upload, telestrate, and share, as we discussed before. So at this point, let me demonstrate the system. So I'm going to switch tabs here. You notice I'm still in the browser because, like I said earlier, PowerChalk is completely web-based. And within the browser, I'm logged into my account, so I can always see all my account settings. I can see how many videos I've got. I can see some of the statistics, and I can customize my what's called my Pro page. We'll talk to that a little bit later, but basically I just want to show you that I'm in the system as Chaz Henry, and in the system, the top left corner, videos, is pretty much my home base. That's where I go to look at my locker. So again, the PowerChalk system is made up of thousands and thousands of public videos, much like YouTube. Imagine if YouTube had a telestrator. Then I specifically am parked right now in my videos. So you see the tree on the left. We've got public videos, we've got model videos, lessons, we've got diagrams. I'll talk about most of these folders tonight within the 30 minutes that we're allotted. But I'm going to start with my videos. So you see in my videos that I have 607 videos. Now, because they're all centralized and in a database, I can pull down the search bar and I can search for Cole. So again, one of the things we encourage you to do, coaches, is as you enter videos, as you take and upload videos to the system, develop a scheme by which you can find all your videos. So in this case, this is my younger son, Cole Henry, and I put in my videos as Henry, Cole, because he may have a nickname, but he's always Henry. So it's a great way to organize and find your files. What you'll also notice if you open up my videos and you open up by folder, you'll also see that every time I use the same name, like I did in these videos of Cole shooting basketball, then they will sort themselves into the same folder. So if I want to see all of Cole's videos, I can go to the Henry, Cole folder, and you'll see that I'm down to, I've pared my 600 videos down to 24. Now, of course, you can also do that with a search. So again, I can clear the search out, but because I'm in the Henry, Cole folder, I'm seeing the same 24 videos. So again, there's lots of ways to get to your files, but one of the first things you want to do as you upload files is to keep them organized. So let's talk for a second about upload. All I need to do is go to the upload menus, pull down the menu, click videos, and what the system brings up is a form. And in that form, I can type in the athlete name, Henry, and you notice as I type, it looks in my folders and shows me the names of folders that I've used before. So in this case, I might be uploading a video for my other son, Henry, Ian, or again, one of my players, and let's say this is a swing, and its tags are, if this is footage I took at Disney Spring Training, then I want to put tags in that help me find it later. This could be Game 1, this could be McGregor Downs Country Club. So again, tags that will help you find that file later. Every video that I upload is either public, unlisted, or private. Now, unlisted means that it will not show up in any of the indexes. So coaches, if you're worried about someone scouting these videos and looking through your folders, you can upload as unlisted or private. Now the difference in those two is if I send you a link to an unlisted video, you can watch it. and the system won't care who you are because you have that link. It's like giving someone an unlisted phone number. If they have the number, they can call it. On the other hand, if I make this private, then, and if I send you a link, then you will have to be authorized. And I'll show you that step when we go back to my locker, but you'll have to be authorized even if you've got the link in order to watch that video. So again, a designation to keep in mind there, coaches, but it helps you protect your videos. But you know, what you'll also find is keeping things public or unlisted, especially if these are just baseball swings, high jumps. I mean, there's not a whole lot that you're going to make more out of these videos, and you're going to get more by sharing these videos with parents, getting parents on the same page as you're coaching different mechanics and fellow coaches than you are by keeping everything private. So I encourage you to go with public or unlisted. So the last step that you'll need to make is if I click Add, it will take me to the, whether I'm on a Windows or a Mac, it'll take me to the file browser, and it'll simply ask me to go find my file. Notice this is an MP4. It selects only videos that it understands to be videos. So you notice I see FLVs, I see 3GPs, I see I see MP4s, and if I select that, it'll put it in the list ready to go, and then all I need to do from there is upload. So in that case, I'm not going to start that upload, but you get the idea here. It all starts with upload videos. As I upload videos, they will appear at the very top of my locker. So clicking the Videos tab here, I'm back to my locker. Now, understand, coaches, that we also have a folder called Model Videos. And in that folder, we've got footage from the ASA 2011 World Cup. So for you softball coaches out there, there's pitches and swings from Team USA, from Team Australia, from Team Japan, Team Canada. They're all out there in the ASA World Cup folder. Now, because they're all public videos, in this case they're model videos, notice the model designation over here, because they're model videos, I can use any of those. I can freely use any of these videos. I can also go find videos in the public folder. And again, because they are public, I can use any of those videos. So here, uploaded by Pinkman Baseball, is a Bryce Harper swing. It looks like a 15-second clip, and I can pull that into the ChalkTalk Telestrator by simply clicking ChalkTalk This Video. That, by the way, is the same as what we call the neutron. You'll notice this little neutron symbol that's next to Get a Lesson. I can simply click that, and it'll load that into the ChalkTalk Telestrator. So, with that said, let's go into the Telestrator, but first I'm going to switch gears here. I'm going to go back up into the ASA World Cup, and I'm going to go pick one of my favorite pitchers, and that is Jordan Taylor. So I'm going to scroll down, and I see there the Jordan Taylor video. So here's a 3-second clip of Jordan Taylor pitching. This is from Oklahoma City in 2011. And again, I'll pull down my menu and say ChalkTalk This Video. So at this point, what the system does is it loads Jordan Taylor's video, and I can play it with my play button. So you've got a VCR, you've got a set of VCR controls here. You've got on the left, if I'll just roll my mouse down here, you've got a number of drawing tools that are on your palette. Now at any point, whether the video is stopped or whether the video is in motion, I can grab my line tool and I can draw a line. So that's a reference point. If I'm talking to someone about weight distribution, if I'm talking about balance, I can also take my eraser and just click Erase, and I can erase last or I can erase all. In this case, it's the same thing. I can also, with the very bottom palette, I can change my lines to yellow. Because I think in this case, especially with her in a red uniform, that a yellow line is going to be a better marker, a better reference point. So again, with her video still here, I can draw boxes, I can grab my pencil. A pencil is a free-form box, and I can talk about rotation, I can talk about the potential energy as she torques and untorques, and I can erase everything that I've drawn. So those are the tools. We'll go through them in more detail, but you'll notice some of them have a little tick mark. They have a little tick mark in the corner, and what that is it means that these are line type tools. So vertical only, horizontal only, dash lines, and I can page through the different variations of that tool by just hitting that tick mark. So an oval, for example, can be either an oval or a circle. Now the difference is a circle is drawn from the center out. So if I put my mouse right in the middle of her head and draw out, then I'm going to draw a perfect circle around her head. An oval, on the other hand, you notice the tick mark is up in the corner. So that is drawn from corner to corner, and you'll also notice that it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. So again, you can toggle through and you can experiment with these. One of the other neat tools, especially for pitchers, for golfers, is to use the ruler tool, and I can measure Jordan's height here. And again, that's in pixels, so that doesn't tell me if Jordan is 5 foot or 6 foot. But now let's talk about the playhead. So you notice I'm positioned on frame 1 of the video. I'm just going to grab this red A, and I'm going to pull it across to where Jordan lands. Now, I'm going to go back to the ruler tool, and the reason is I'm going to measure from where Jordan started to where she planted, and I'm going to find out that her stride is 131% of her height. So again, it gives it to me in pixels, but it also always gives me a percentage based on the last thing I measured. So in this case, I measured Jordan's height, and now I'm measuring her stride to find out it's 131%. So these are pro mechanics. These are some of the best athletes in the world. We also have footage. If you go back to the model videos, we've got footage of the National High School Invitational. So baseball coaches, if you're looking for a tall left-hander, you're looking for a stocky right-hander, both pitching and hitting, we've got multiple videos in there that you can use as reference. Now, you can also load a video by clicking Load B, and you can go into the model videos, you can go into public videos, you can go into my videos. So I'm going to go into my videos here, and I'm going to search for Addie, who is a softball pitcher, and I'm going to load Addie as video B. So you notice as soon as I do, it splits the screen. Now Addie's a little bit off the screen. I can go back into single screen mode, and I can toggle between the two videos by just clicking on their thumbnails. So I click on Addie, or I click on Jordan Taylor, and I go back and forth. All right, now you notice that the last thing I drew on Jordan Taylor's video stays with her video. So imagine, if you will, that all three of these videos, the individual videos and then the combined split screen video, has a plastic overlay on it that I can draw on. Now since Addie's off the screen here, I'm going to grab this little B tab right here, and I'm going to pull her onto the screen, and I'm also going to push Jordan Taylor over a little bit, so they're both pretty well centered up within their respective frames. Okay, now at this point what I can do, I can grab Jordan Taylor's playhead and I can move it back, and I can move Addie forward, and I can get them synced up. Now one place to sync them might be at the point that they land, or maybe when they're stride foot. Now I'm going to drag her to this point, but I can also use plus plus plus. Now the minute her stride foot comes up is right there. So I'm going to do Jordan Taylor the same way. I'm going to first click on her video. You notice the green ring surrounds her video, and now I'm just going to roll my mouse wheel. I'm going to pull her over just a hair so I can see that stride foot. I can either roll my mouse wheel if you've got a mouse wheel. If you're on a Mac, just hit plus plus plus, and we're going to get Jordan Taylor to the point where, and I keep drifting over here, I'm watching her foot. Right there, her stride foot starts to come up. So you start to see immediately some differences. Now whether this is the model for Addie or not, that's really one of the things as a coach that we try to do, is try to find the right model. So once we find an athlete that we're modeling, now what I can do is lock these two videos together. Clicking the lock, you notice now the green ring surrounds the entire video. And what I'll do is just roll my mouse wheel or hit the plus key, and we'll go frame by frame. So you'll see Addie has very good mechanics, and she really takes the same leap. Now I'm going to back up a little bit, and I'm going to show you that while Jordan Taylor does a pretty good job of dragging that rubber foot, Addie gets completely airborne. Now, what you softball coaches know is that everybody pretty much jumps, but you have to give the appearance of dragging that foot. You cannot have both feet off the ground, which Addie clearly does there. So if I go back and forth, you'll see that Addie, has jumped off the rubber. She's likely to get called for an illegal pitch there. So these are the kind of things that slow motion will reveal and that the tool can be used for. Now, I should say, while we're here in the Telestrator, there's 3 ways to use the Telestrator. Number 1 is we could all be in the same room. So I could pull my players in, and I could put them next to, their model mechanics, in this case Jordan Taylor, and I could make observations with my player, and we just learn what we learn, but nothing is recorded. Now the second thing that I could do is I'm going to back them up, and I'm going to get to the point where I would probably, my teachable moment point, and what I can simply do is hit the record analysis button. Now what happens when I do is the system will say 3, 2, 1 action, and it's telling me that we're about to start recording. And what the system will do is record everything that happens inside this window that I'm setting the boundaries to. So none of the mouse, none of the palette, none of the buttons, none of the VCR playhead at the bottom. It's going to record what happens in this window. So basically it's going to record what we call a chalk talk. And the chalk talk is just my analysis of these 2 videos side by side, and it includes everything that I say, do, draw. So if I bring Addie's attention to her hand, in comparison to Jordan's, or her glove position, so I'm going to go over and grab the oval tool. It's a little easier to draw perfect ovals. If I compare that with Jordan Taylor, and I show Addie some things, again, that might be a 2-minute or a 5-minute video, and I say, Addie, here's what I see, and at that point I would click the record button again to say stop, and that becomes a new video. It's going to go to the top of my locker. So we started out in the locker. The locker is where everything sort of comes back to. That video goes in my locker, and it has a designation on it that we call a chalk talk. It'll have that little PowerChalk neutron on it, and that's an indication to me that it's an analysis. It's a markup of a video. It's not a raw footage video. It's not linear footage that I took. So again, that's the Telestrator. Lots to talk about. In fact, we can do 2nd and 3rd sessions on this, and we're glad to do it to help you coaches get started. But while I'm in here, I should probably point out lots more to talk about on the VCR controls. But the gist of it is you've got a pause button, you've got a play button, you've got slow motion buttons, and you've got super slow motion buttons. So that's really the forward buttons here. You've got the pluses and the minus that we talked about, and then you've got the A, B, and split screen toggles. And you can click those up here, or you can click those down here. All right, so that's the gist of the Telestrator. While I'm here, I should probably show you one more thing, and that is not only can I load videos into the Telestrator, and here I'm going to, it's still using my filter of Addie, so I'm going to just hit the recycle here and clear that out, and then it shows me all videos that are in the particular folder that I'm in. Again, we've got model videos, public videos, my videos. Now we also have diagrams. And diagrams, I'm going to pull up the softball field. Let's keep the softball theme going. I'm going to pull up a softball field, and diagrams are also telestratable maps, if you will, that let me drag the pieces around. So I can talk to my team, and again, I can record this, or I didn't talk about the 3rd way. I can literally, if my players are at home and I wanted to give them hitting analysis one at a time, I could schedule times 15 minutes apart, and I could have them, I could start a broadcast, and they could watch that broadcast. So when I say broadcast my screen and give that a session name, and I'll call it carry analysis, and I give it a password, 123 in this case, I would have my players log into this same session by coming into the Telestrator in their account, and that's why I made such a point about getting their own accounts. They could come into this session and they could see what I'm seeing. So they would see my same screen, and if I were to take them through scenarios, they'd see that live. So that's what a PowerCast is. But again, you could also record these. So I could record this session, and I could talk about a cut 4. So I could draw, and I can even notice as after I've drawn a line, this curve tool comes up in the bottom. I can even grab that line after it's been drawn, and I can curve it. Now what I'll do is I'll change the red and I'll draw a line that is the potential throw to the plate. Because obviously with a man on second here, I can take my team through a scenario. Let's say there's 2 outs of a base hit to right, and obviously what would happen is the right fielder would converge on the ball, the center fielder would converge on the ball, second baseman would take a couple steps back, realize it's over his head, and then go to cover first. My first baseman would drop down into that line that is the potential play to the plate. Hopefully my pitcher backs up home and my catcher steps up to call the cut. So again, you get the idea here. I can move all these players around and I can demonstrate where my players need to go on a cut 4. So literally what I can do is I can record that and put it in an electronic playbook. I can share that out. The final recording will be a new video in my locker, and I can share that out to all my players who could watch it on their iPhones or Androids. So again, that's just another feature. And by the way, I could interleave that because I've still got Addy over in Video B. So I could literally interleave a potential, a theoretical situation with a real-world play. So this could well be footage that happened Wednesday night, that was taken by one of the parents, and we could show, who moved where, who didn't go where they were supposed to, and theoretically what we want to happen on that play every time. So again, that's the mechanics of the telestrator. There's a lot here, coaches. I don't pretend that we've gone through all of it, but I think what I want to encourage you to do is just get started. Get your accounts, and I'm going to click the right mouse, or I can simply, because I'm in a browser, I can simply just go backwards. Some of the questions we get are, how do I get out of this telestrator? Or again, remember, I'm in Google Chrome here, so this is just one tab. I can literally have my locker up in another tab, so I could go in this to PowerChalk.com. I'm still logged in, so I could go to the videos section, and I could literally be looking in my locker here to see the video that I created that is now rendering of the Chalk Talk Telestrator session that I did in another window. So, part of the power of this being web-based is that it can live in a tab while I'm doing other things on the web, including finding videos on YouTube and pulling them over and putting them into my locker so I could model some of those mechanics. So I hope that helps. That's a rundown of the telestrator. Let's go back to our outline, and that's our demonstration piece. Let's kind of go back through a couple other necessary parts. So under the mobile category, if you will go to the App Store for iPhone or the Play Store for Android and you search for PowerChalk, you're going to find an app called the 10-Second Telestrator. And what this is a companion app to our site. So it fully integrates your phone with your online locker. So we talked about establishing your account. We talked about getting your locker up and going. And now what you can do is you can take video straight off your mobile phone and push it into your locker. Now the 10-Second Telestrator is also a telestrator. As its name implies, it also lets you do frame-by-frame analysis. It lets you do slow motion video breakdown, including recording of video that is on your phone. So in fact, I'm a Little League coach. We had practice tonight, and I took my iPad to the practice, and we filmed every pitcher, his general mechanics. We took about 3 or 4 pitches, and we filmed every hitter in batting practice. We filmed about 3 or 4 swings. So we've got some representative footage as this season starts that we can either compare against later mechanics, or we can put them against a major leaguer, or like I said, a national high school invitational player, and start to find the differences and start to show our kids visually, just where they start to vary from what we consider really good mechanics. So coaches, I see that I'm up against the 30-minute mark. That's really the sort of the primer, and that was our intent here, is to give you just enough information that you can get started using PowerChalk. So again, feel free to share this with your team, this video. With your team, we're going to circulate the URL for it, and it'll be a private link on YouTube, but you're free to share that with with your teammates, with your coaches, with your parents, so everybody gets started, gets an account, and start to use this tool that Disney Spring Training has provided. If you have any questions or issues with using the system, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact us using the phone number and the email provided. Thanks again for tuning in.